Welcome back to the San Diego Opera Podcast. I'm Nick Ravellis. My guest today is the singer who's playing the role of Charlie in Jake Heggie's Three Decembers, baritone Steven LaBrie. Steven,
hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Good to have you here. Tell us just a little bit about yourself first. Where are you from originally?
Well, I'm originally from Dallas, Texas.
Uh-huh.
I grew up, my mother's Mexican, so I grew up speaking Spanish and English in the house. I discovered opera one day. So I was a kid.
Just one day.
Just one day. So my story goes a little like this. I was one day, so I was bullied in school, and I had a hard time with that. And
so was I. You're not alone.
Good.
It's okay.
Yes, I feel like there's a lot of poor victims out there. And one day our school took us on a field trip to see La Boheme and with the Dallas Opera. And I fell in love with it immediately. So from that point forward, I always wanted to sing. It inspired me. I even went back to class and told everyone that I wanted to be an opera singer.
Wow.
So, and this was when I was about 10 years old. And so I always wanted to sing after that. So anytime I would be in the house by myself, I would sing, and so like I would practice and I loved it and I joined choir and I started taking lessons. And so I originally actually started singing like pop music, mariachi, things like that. And then I started going into opera a little later on, like before I started school. And I've been just singing ever since. It's just always been my passion, always my love. So.
And Boheme, again, it's a great first opera.
Boheme is a great first opera,
You must have just gone nuts.
Oh my God, it is so passionate and it is so alive and there's such real people,
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what I love about opera is that it's a story of real people told through music, And the music is just heightening the reality,
And have you had a chance to sing, I would guess, Marcello?
Yes, actually, I've done several productions of Boheme, even at the Dallas Opera.
Oh, wonderful!
So it's all really come full circle. So it's actually a great opportunity to be here because when I first listened to this piece, it made me feel so connected to it. Because
this piece,
Three Decembers, yeah. It made me feel so connected that I was so thrilled. I was just so excited to dig in and learn it. And it's so funny, too, because, as you know, the Flicka and Kristen debuted these roles.
Right.
They were the originals. So listening to the recording and then showing up here in San Diego and hearing them and hearing what they do and knowing like what they're going to do and then hearing them do it was so funny because, you always listen to recordings of singers but you don't sing with them,
Right.
But this is
oh my God, that's kind of mind-blowing,
isn't it?
That's great.
And so I'm in the room with these two women who are just like singing their hearts out and it just feels so familiar, and it feels so touching because they're both so honest and so emotional,
So you've seen this show?
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I've only heard the recording.
The recording, and the recording is wonderful.
It is.
By the way, is on Spotify.
Yes,
if you have Spotify
and Apple Music.
That's how I discovered it. And Apple Music, iTunes. Yeah. So let's jump into the opera. Tell us a little bit about Charlie.
So Charlie. Maddie is the mother, and she's a famous actress. Charlie and Bea are her children, and Charlie is a gay guy, and he moved to San Francisco, and he falls in love with this guy named Bert, and the problem is that Maddie doesn't want to recognize Bert as she doesn't want to include him as a family member.
As family, yeah.
And the other issue is that Bert, because it's 1986, the first act, Bert is dying of AIDS, so he's sick. And Charlie's taking care of him. And he continues to live for 10 years after that. But it's really, it's an emotional roller coaster for Charlie because he's loving this person. And all of these people are dying of AIDS at this time. It's such an important part of our history, of world history, of American history, and of gay history, and something that people don't... it's not the same reality today as it was at that time,
right?
Because HIV and AIDS is so manageable now. But at that time, it was so scary because it came out of nowhere and it was killing all these people.
Right.
And so so Charlie, is dealing with that and dealing with that reality and taking care of Bert. And in the first act, his mother's writes them Christmas letters, and he and Bea have this tradition of getting on the phone and reading them with each other. And so in the letter, Maddie calls Bert Kurt. She writes Kurt.
She never quite gets the name.
She never does.
And that's it, because it tells us an awful lot about how that simple device tells us so much about how
It's
she
so
feels.
passive-aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, she redeems herself because when Bert's dying, like actually in 10 years later, in 1996, she writes him another letter, and she writes a letter actually to Bert, and it basically says, that she admires them, and that Charlie's love for Bert has really given him stature to her, and that seeing Bert through Charlie's eyes made her realize what she missed not knowing him. Yeah. So she redeems herself in the end with their relationship.
I was talking with Flicka, Frederica von Stade, yesterday in an interview about how this seems like a stage play, right?
Yeah.
That if it were spoken, it would be just as successful as it is as an opera.
The libretto is so
it's
honest,
excellent, and honest. Yes, absolutely, and very clear American English. But it's also a wonderful example of how music can heighten a story, like you were talking about earlier with Bohème.
Yeah.
Jake's music does exactly the same thing.
It really
with
does.
This play, does it not?
It does. And well, we use music in movies to do the same thing, to have the same effect. So it's really not that foreign of a concept, because they really do. The soundtrack is what makes you feel things with the dialogue. They're just not singing.
And of course, movie music came from opera.
It did,
right?
of course.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yes, exactly.
So yeah, it's really true, and yes, it really works well as a play. And we go through, as we're staging the opera, we're going through just speaking our lines, without the music and without the pianist, and it really is just as touching and just as effective because this opera, it has so many elements that are real life. So in one moment they're having fun and they're being silly, and then instantly the mood changes into having a fight, and so it has so many different moments, and it's similar to the Act 4 Bohème where the guys are playing and then suddenly Mimi comes in and she's dying. So Jake and the writers Jake and Jean really had this brilliant, genius way of putting down this opera. I can't think of the right way to say it, but of organizing dramatically how this opera should go,
and getting the right. I like to call it a sonic environment. Getting the right atmosphere musically. For instance, in the first third, there's a reminiscence about walking across the bridge into Sausalito and having a little visit in San Francisco.
Yes.
You can see it. You can feel it.
It really is
wonderful.
It really is. And and then when the kids are walking on the bridge later, the music, you feel the wind, you see the sights. I mean, it feels so open and so exciting. And it really does. The music really is painting the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's really just like drawing you into their world.
It's really amazing. I know that today you and the production team and the cast went out to see the theater.
They're going now.
Oh, they're going.
Yes,
so you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
I was going to ask you because this is going to be the first time that we've performed in this intimate theater. It's brand new. It's on a high school campus, strangely enough, but it is absolutely, in every technical way and in terms of production value, has everything that we need to do intimate opera. So I'm really looking forward. Maybe I'll talk to somebody tomorrow to find out how they feel about it, because it'll be wonderful, I think, to do a piece like this that's this powerful in a truly intimate space. I don't think it's more than 400 or 500 seats.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think it should probably be perfect for this opera. What's next for you?
So after this, I have a couple recitals in Miami, and then I'm going to be singing in New York. I'm doing an opera with Teatro Nuovo, which is a company run by Will Crutchfield. It's a bel canto festival, and I'm doing a piece called La Straniera by Bellini. Yeah. So it's an obscure bel canto piece.
Yeah, it's almost never done.
Yeah. So we're doing it. It'll be done at SUNY Purchase, and then the second performance will be at Lincoln Center in the Rose Theater.
Exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Look, it's wonderful to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
And to have you in San Diego for the first time. Debut artist
Yes.
with San Diego Opera. I hope you enjoy your stay, and we're really looking forward to seeing you in 3 Decembers.
Thank you so much. It was really fun.
Thank you.